Hey, welcome back, everybody. So we are here for a little movie dump, as I'm calling it right now, because I am not very creative. So what we have is we have a whole bunch of movie news. It's just like little things, some reports, some not so much. But what we're doing to just kind of go through this as quickly as possible, tell you guys about it. Basically, what we have here is a good news sandwich. We're going to start with the fact that Spider-Man 4 is already set and ready to go. So basically, right now we have that Tom Holland's report is coming back. They've already got a script. Everything's set. It's going to come out in July 2026, following
July
Avengers Doomsday.
July 24th, to be specific.
Oh, so they got it. Yeah. So it'll come out in July 24th, 2026. It's going to follow the Avengers Doomsday movie. So, of course, there'll be some part of the timeline that's going to be, or the story is going to be related to that. We know that everything seems to be, just chugging away with this, which is really great news because we're big fans of the Spider-Man movies.
Huge.
We're big fans of Tom Holland in general. And we're really kind of hopeful for what that's going to mean for the Marvel genre moving forward. Now, let's go ahead and have a little bit of nasty turkey with that.
Yeah.
So, one thing that's kind of come up is that the Blade movie has been removed from the roster for Marvel Studios. However, to add a little bit of spice to that, they're actually going to be putting out a new Predator movie called Predator Badlands instead.
Very excited. Very excited.
Yeah, I think, well, and considering that, we like the Alien series and Predator kind of go along together. But the thing is that we know that the Blade movie has been kind of hit with a lot of dramas lately. So they haven't been able to write anything. They do have a lead actor at this point.
Yeah, Mahershala.
Yeah, and then they haven't been able to keep a director. Yeah. So it's just kind of been in some sort of developmental Hades for right now. And so I guess it makes sense to me if they can move forward with another project. That would probably be, I'd like to see what, the Disney line is going to do with Predator, because definitely Aliens worked out really well.
Yeah, and Prey, which was another Predator film, worked out extremely well. Now, it was a release straight to Hulu.
Yes.
If you're international, it was Disney Plus, but it went straight to Hulu here in the States. And it was a really great movie. I liked it. The Predator fan base liked it. And then with Alien Romulus just coming out this past August, I'm all here for Disney. And, they've treated the IPs really nicely. Alien and Predator have been revitalized. I'm here for it. They've been bringing in really good writers and directors. I do agree with you, though. I feel really bad for Mahershala Ali because he is who they've casted to be Blade, and he really has kind of put his whole career on hold for this.
Yes.
He hasn't been taking any roles. He hasn't been doing anything because he wanted Blade to be like his magnum opus, which he wanted it to be great.
As you were talking about that, I'd actually kind of been rooting around in the back of my head this idea that in a sad kind of way, the Deadpool Wolverine movie has probably also put a little bit of a stink on this, because you got the original Blade back, Wesley Snipes. He looked as cool as he ever did, being Blade. I mean, it looked like the man hadn't aged a day, except for his little flavor saver had a bit of gray in it.
Yeah, he got the salt and pepper going on.
Yeah, but the thing is like that was oh man, he was awesome in the movie, and it was so great to see him.
He was great, and again, you're right. I mean, Blade, the last Blade movie with Wesley Snipes was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Blade Trinity, which also, by the way, featured Ryan Reynolds, which is why he was able to get him into this movie.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Ali, but at the same time, if they're not ready, it's better for them to hold off than push ahead and give us something that we're not going to like. Let's continue on to our next bit of bad news.
Yeah. So just to give you guys, a little understanding of here. So a while ago, they announced a new Rey movie that was going to be, Star Wars, the new Jedi Order type of thing with, what happened to Rey after episode 9. Now, they have now lost another screenwriter, Stephen Knight. This is now 3 writers that have left the Rey movie, this being the third one. And honestly, this is really pushing them past when they were supposed to start filming. This movie was supposed to come out, I want to say, in 2026, maybe 2027.
I believe it's 2026. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's not happening. They're not even going to begin filming at the least until 2025.
Yeah.
So again, this is the third writer they've lost. It's interesting to see because Star Wars is revisiting, the sequel trilogy in different mediums such as books and comics. But it just seems when it comes to movies or television shows, the writers that they're hiring just can't seem to figure out a way to, write a good story to where they feel good about it, to the point where they're leaving.
And that's the thing, I mean, what is it that's, because I don't think Knight actually said anything on why he was leaving. What we know is that, it won't start until late or well into is what the article, Variety, I believe it's, Variety wrote, sorry.
No, you're fine.
But, so I mean, it wasn't until well into 2025 that they said they'll probably even begin to film.
Yeah.
And the truth is that I'm actually, I'm really happy to get like another Rey story. I really want that, but the problem is I don't know why we're having issues getting a writer in. I think there's a lot of pressure. There might be a lot of this, and we mentioned it before, have they kind of written themselves into a little bit of a corner?
They have. I really feel like they have, because, I mean, if you think about it, even at the end of episode 9, and little spoilers on 9 if you haven't seen it, I mean, Palpatine's dead. Kylo Ren is redeemed as Ben Solo, but he's dead. The First Order / Final Order is kind of taken out. I mean, there's nothing really there. I mean, there's nothing really to fight against, go against. I mean, what are you going to do? Bring Palpatine back again?
Well, I mean, and the problem is that even to a greater extent, is trying to create something that's completely new.
Yeah,
and exactly. You'd kind of have to have George Lucas there again and go, hey, or, but the problem is that we talked about this before, even I think on one of the an earlier talk about Star Wars is, who's show running this, so to speak. As of right now, it's still Kathleen Kennedy, but she can't do this forever.
Yeah.
And what we have is, is it worth just waiting so that somebody like Filoni or Favreau can take over completely? Because we, the rumors and scuttlebutt, at least according to Giancarlo Esposito, is that the Grogu Mando. Yes, sorry, I got it wrong earlier.
No, you're good.
So their whole thing, I mean, is possibly going to extend into multiple movies.
Yeah,
featuring other characters. So they have a storyline, but the thing is, it's not the future of Star Wars. It is a little area of the past that we're familiar with.
Yeah, because you're right. The majority of the Mandoverse, which mainly includes a good bit of the TV shows on Disney Plus, takes place between episode 6 and 7. I mean, that's a 35. Yeah, that's a 30-year gap, like 35 years. I mean, that's a long time. That's a lot of space to work in.
It's a lot. Well, and actually, and what is it? It's not even. So it's between 6 and 7. But then even like, what is it, 5 years into after the last 6, I think because it's not just recent. It's not like 2 minutes later the Mando appears. It's like quite a few years. And then, so some of that time's already used up, but eventually you run out of that.
Yeah, but they've still got plenty of time. I mean, there's
Well,
still
they do.
plenty of time. I
But
mean, even the Mandalorian show has told us, like, yes, time has continued through Mando season 2, Mando season 3, the Ahsoka show, Book of Boba Fett. Skeleton Crew is going to take place in the same time period soon enough, which comes December 3rd. But it really just shows it's like they can't seem to move out of certain areas in Star Wars. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show and Andor take place between episode 3 and 4. All of the Mandoverse shows between 6 and 7. We haven't gotten anything live action that takes place outside of that. Now, the animated shows have played around. We've gotten Tales of the Jedi, which some of those take place before episode 1 even.
Yeah.
And we've gotten Tales of the Empire, which some of those take place during the Clone Wars, during, the rise of the Empire, the middle of the Empire. And overall, though, they're really trying, especially now that time has passed, to come back to the sequel trilogy, to push it forward, to give us more movies. And it just feels like they can't find a writer. I mean, 3 writers have now left. And it's just like, I mean, maybe they have put themselves into a corner.
Well, and it's just maybe nobody wants that. Well, okay, let's look at it. I mean, and try to. We'll move on quickly after this. It's just look at it this way. I mean, what happened to the writers of the last Star Wars movies?
Yeah,
and how public opinion just kind of went in. Again,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's the dark side of when you're fans of something, you can get really passionate about it, and unfortunately, it can sometimes look pretty bitter. Because
you're not wrong. Rian Johnson wrote and directed episode 8. J.J. Abrams wrote and directed episode 7 and 9.
Yeah,
and I mean, people do not like those people, and you're not wrong. I mean, what has Rian Johnson did other than the Glass Onion movies on Netflix? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
he's done those. Those are good. Other than that, though, what has he done?
Because he was supposed to have his own trilogy.
Yeah,
and that went
years ago.
The genie from Aladdin popped out from Disney's little oil lamp and said, "Nope." And just
Robin Williams,
nothing happened.
Yeah. And then J.J. Abrams, I mean, same thing. What has he done since 2019?
Not much.
With after he left.
However, that all being said, so things don't look great on the Rey side.
They really don't. But
however,
rest of the good news.
Yeah, so basically it looks like the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, so reportedly that's finished filming.
Yeah.
Which means that there's no delays here. It looks like it's ready to go. They've got all the characters now. Reportedly, this is the last in the line of pure Mandalorian and Grogu movies things. So I don't know. I mean, I heard that at one point, but we'll see what happens. As the movie goes forward. On, I don't think an IP that does well is going to simply just go, that's enough.
Yeah.
But the thing is they've got this, weirdly enough, we've got other things that are just canceling and doing this. And here we go. This is moving. The train is moving left the station and is now trying to reach its final destination by May 2026, which is theaters. But reportedly, on top of this, there has been a couple of and I will not say grumblings because it is good news, that it may even have an earlier release if they feel necessary. Now, me personally, if I'm making a multi-million-dollar movie and I'm setting it to release on this day, it's probably going to release on this day, just because I would rather have more time to fix it than, put myself in a crunch.
I mean, and what it comes down to is I agree with you. I mean, give them the time they need to fix it, post-production, make it look good. But at the same time, this only started filming this July. So, I mean, that's July, August, September, and October.
That's because they have this down to a science, because they know how to do it. You know, they're going to use the volume to make the movie, and you know, like I said, so they've got this down. If they use the volume, because look how great it looks as a TV series. Yeah. There's no reason why that would not work cinematically. You know, especially up the resolution. Put in some of that THX that they used to have all the time, you know, and let's rock on to IMAX. And yeah, exactly.
I mean, in all reality, this, in my opinion, this is going to be a really good movie. And it also goes to show, like, again, like you said, there's been no delays. There's been no, you know, nothing has happened to delay this movie. I mean, in this, you know, with the last sentence there, it is a testament to Jon Favreau's skill as a director that, okay, here's a movie, John. And it took him maybe 4 months to get it done. I mean, some movies can take 8 months to a year.
Well, I mean, look, this guy is, I mean, and he's good at this. He is good at, you know, I mean, you know, Jon Favreau can just back his little bottom in here for a little kissing, you know, so, I mean, it's just kind of like he's good at this. This is what he does.
He's good.
You got to remember who started the Marvel Universe,
and
being what the Marvel Universe is. It was Jon Favreau. This is great news for people that are big fans of Star Wars and want cinematic Star Wars back. I mean, just think about what you're going to get when you let's just stay with me here for a second. Think about that experience you're going to get in May 2026 when you walk into that theater, sit down with your Grogu head bucket of buttered popcorn or Mando.
They'll probably come out with something like that.
Yeah, that'll be like you'll just stick your hand in the Grogu's mouth and pull out some popcorn, and you're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, dun, 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 you know, and the dun, 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 and that big crawl comes up, and you're gonna need a cigarette, you know. So this is, I mean, look, I'm already there.
But again, this was just some movie news we wanted to share with you guys. Like Adrian said, you know, it's gonna be some good news, some bad news.
Yeah,
we'll leave you guys with that, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Peace.